What's up, guys? Welcome to Music Saved My Life. I am AJ from the band Something Heavy. This is episode like 4 or 5 that I'm doing right now, and you could see the shadows sneaking up. I feel like the Crypt Keeper here. I need to work on new lighting. Thank you, everybody who has watched so far. I've gotten a lot of feedback from all you guys, friends, family, people who I don't know who have been watching the show on my Facebook page. I appreciate it very much. Keep those likes and subscribes coming. Hopefully after my chat today, I will have God knows how many more with this beautiful young woman. I think she's on that side on my screen, but she might be over there on your screen. I don't know. This is my very, very, very long time and very dear friend, Mrs. the Miss D, Adina Perullo. She's gonna share a whole lot of stuff with us tonight. We may split this into 2 episodes because I have a feeling that her and I are just gonna talk. Yeah, it's no pressure. This is a judgment-free zone. I tell everybody that. This is Planet Fitness.
Good, because I have a filter, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah, this is really good. I've got to say I'm a little nervous about this one to see where it's gonna go, but I'm looking forward to it. So I've said my little spiel here. So without further ado, Ms. Adina, please introduce yourself.
Hello, thank you, AJ, for having me on Music Saved My Life. That's amazing, because music did save my life, along with a lot of other things that saved my life, and we will get into that. But yes, my name's Adina Perullo. AJ knows me as Adina Agliano. That's how we met in middle school, I think, because you went to one school and I went to the other. And
don't even say the year. Don't, please.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's only been like 40 years, 30 years time to grow. Anyway. I am a wedding planner. I own my own wedding planning business. I am a cancer thriver. I am a former band member of Sugar in the Raw, which we'll get into momentarily.
Oh, she's already dropping names. Look at this.
Yep. I was the headbanging keyboardist, most famous for the song Du Hast by Ramstein. Right?
This is going to be a fun
I'm a
one.
mom. Oh, yes. I'm a mom of 2 boys, Luca, who's 7, and Lorenzo, who's almost 5. My husband, Matt, is a police officer in the NYPD. I live at home with my husband, my kids, and my brother and his dog live with us. And this is Millie, my big fat chihuahua, who is also my support animal.
That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
So that being said, with the emotional support animal, how are you feeling? You look, I don't want you to just be like, oh, you just say, you look amazing, like you really do. I mean, and especially since I haven't seen you it's been months since I've like seen you. Like, you look incredible. So I just want you to know that. Thank
you. I actually feel pretty incredible for what's going on. My doctors have said that I'm doing really, really well. I feel great. I put on a little bit of weight from all the medicines and the fact that I kind of am in a c'est la vie type of mentality where I'm like, ooh, cake, yes. Oh,
go for it.
Yep, cookies for breakfast, sure. And then when I went back to the doctor and in 3 weeks I put on 8 pounds, they told me you need to slow down a little bit. But that's how good I'm feeling, is that I'm eating whatever I want. I'm getting up and doing things. I am running my business the same way as I did.
That's awesome.
So yeah. Hopefully, I look as good as I feel because I feel terrific.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear all of that, and I'll plug it really fast, and then I'm gonna plug it on the page, and you could talk about it afterwards too. Adina is a wedding planner, and she's freaking amazing. So if you're getting married or thinking of getting married or just want to like have a mock wedding and have it set up, just hire her. She'll do it, and she's incredible.
Exactly. A perfect day wedding planning and coordination. We are here in Long Island, Nassau County, Suffolk County, Queens, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Staten Island, New York City, and just as of today, Charleston, South Carolina.
Wow, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. You've branched out so much, and in the years that you've been doing this, you've grown by leaps and bounds. It's awesome. Very proud of you. Very cool of what you're doing. Awesome.
Thank you. So one day when we find you the magic lady, I'm gonna be right there by your side, planning it all.
Yeah. All right. Let's
I saw you reaching for that drink.
different. Yeah. It's a different conversation. All right. Different conversation. Different talk show. This isn't about me. This is about you. We'll hit that at another time. So as you said, let's see. We met in junior high school.
Probably like 5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, and I knew Adina as the quiet, short, long-haired alto saxophone player in the band. That's when I first met Adina. I had never met anybody named Adina before, so I thought that was pretty damn cool. But the fact that she was just a short chick playing saxophone was badass. And then I came to find out, years later that she played piano and she had interests in all that stuff like that, and kind of got the wheels turning a little bit. We'll get into that stuff later on. Tell me a little bit about, life growing up. I know you grew up in Bethpage.
Yes, I grew up in
Mom, Dad.
I attended Island Trees High School, which is where my children now go to school as well. So it's like a community that you grow up in and you love so much and you just don't leave. So my kids go there now too. Yeah, you met me playing the alto sax. I actually wanted to play the baritone sax, but I was probably shorter than the baritone saxophone. So so Porter, who was our music teacher, told me that's not really an option for you, but how about the alto sax? It's smaller, it's more compact, it's easy to play. That being said, when I was carrying that alto sax during the Memorial Day parade all the way down Hempstead Turnpike to the Levittown Library, it felt like the baritone sax because it was so heavy and we were sweating and we were wearing those crazy outfits with those feathers up top.
Yep.
Yes. My parents never played any instruments, but as a really little kid, I mean, I would say before kindergarten, my grandmother had an organ in her house, like one of those crazy pipe organs.
Okay.
And she played 2 songs, Let Me Call You Sweetheart, and a song that I have no idea what the name of it is. But I learned both of those songs. So at maybe 3 or 4 years old, I heard my grandma play it a couple times and I was able to play it back to her. So I always knew that there was some sort of like an attraction to music, and I had something going where I could hear it and I could play it. As the years went on, I should have taken piano lessons. I wish that's something I would have done at a young age, because then I would have had more structure behind it. But I just liked, it was like more of a party trick, right? Where I'd be like, play a song. And somebody would play a song. And by the time the song ended, I could play it back to them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I think, why, when I said to you, hey, I can kind of play piano, like I'm not super great at it. And you said, show me your chops. And I came out with random songs. I played a Billy Joel song, I think, and I played Butterfly Kisses, the one everybody dances with their dad at their wedding and their sweet 16. And, so my skills were a little varied, a little different. But for some reason you felt like that was something that you may or may not have been looking for at the time. And off we went. There
was potential there. That's what it was. Exactly. It was like, you know what? She can play. I need a piano player. She's my friend. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's potential here. We can make this work. We can make this work.
Exactly. And to this day, I still remember the riff for Du Hast. I still remember when we played Glycerin by Bush and that whole violin part I played on the piano. I still remember that. So it's like crazy how things like that stick in your mind for years and years to come.
All right. So then I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to refigure out some of these tunes, record them, and then come to you and have you lay down all the piano parts and stuff like that. It's just like a reminiscence type of thing.
Yes.
I also do recall when growing up, gonna get on the little serious side here as well. Before I get on the serious side, I'll mention it, if you do notice, Adina keeps glancing to her left.
I'm so sorry.
The Ranger game is currently on, and Adina bleeds blue for more reasons than one. The Rangers, her husband, who is a officer of the law, Adina bleeds blue, so she will be looking at the screen, giving us updates
as we go.
And are they currently still losing?
Yes, and it's intermission, so we're going to be losing for at least 15 more minutes.
All right, good. Okay, so we have a little
Okay.
bit of a
So
reprieve.
status quo for this year.
Okay, that's out of the way. Now it'll get into, the serious side of things and stuff like
Yes.
that. I don't know if you remember, but there was a time, I can't really recall if it was late junior high or early high school.
Okay.
Um, we were all hanging out in your small little room.
Mhm.
Sidebar, Adina had a waterbed that we tried to fit like 7,
Seven.
8, 9, 10 people on it at a
It
time.
was 11, and we had all 11 slept on it that one night.
It was quite hysterical. But small room, that's where we partied.
Yeah.
And nothing was off limits. She just let everybody just hang wherever and stuff like that.
Yeah, my
Um,
parents were cool that way.
yes, and still are.
They
Um,
still.
I had found, because it was out, I don't know if it was left out for a reason. I had found it looked like a square, like those old notes of loose leaf paper that like you roll up and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that and everything like that. Um,
Oh, I know where you're going.
well, I told you it's gonna get there. You had wrote something on there that I opened it and read it, and I waited until everybody had left that night, and I was very serious with you, and I said, are you okay? Because
Mhm.
that piece or pieces of loose leaf paper that I read scared me.
Yeah.
Coming from a friend and somebody who really cared about you and still does, that piece of paper scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
I want you to, we don't, because I really don't remember um, all of what was said in there, but
Mhm.
what was going through, what was going through your head at that time that made you write that? I don't even want to call it a poem, but it seemed
Okay.
more like it just seemed like a letter just expressing, you know, everything that you had going on.
Yeah, so I can tell you it was late 10th grade, so sophomore year,
Mhm.
because I had referenced my rainbow Sweet 16 dress in it.
Yes,
And
that I remember.
I, yes, yes. And you know what? At that age, like I fit into a point, but not totally. I had this crazy frizzy hair that I could not manage. I mean, straighteners hadn't come out yet.
Hmm.
And that, talk about music saving my life, hair straighteners also saved my life because
Podcast idea.
yeah, I literally have a school picture where my hair does not fit inside the frame of the picture. It just like came out like this. And I just felt super outcast. I mean, 10th grade is like puberty and all that stuff. So it's like you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. And
Hmm.
then you have like all these gross things happening to you. And then like it puts you in awkward situations. And nowadays I feel like kids are getting super close a lot younger than we did,
Hmm.
but in 10th grade that's when things started to really like heat up, and everybody was getting boyfriends and who was doing what to whom and who was under the blanket with this one, and I just felt like I would never get that. I felt so awkward, and like many teenagers, and it's so sad to say this, but you feel like what you're feeling in the moment is what you're going to feel like for the rest of your life,
Hmm.
and it's just not true. I mean, if I typical cliche, if I knew then what I knew now, I would tell myself, sister, you are an awkward teenager, and that's okay, because when you get out of high school and you reinvent yourself, you're going to feel like a badass woman and just become the person that you want to be. Nobody knows who you were before you got to college, and you can be whoever you want to be.
Hmm.
Um, I've always struggled with anxiety and depression. My mom has clinical depression. As a kid, I always, was introverted, and there was like this anxiety that I couldn't control. So I know that it was something that I was born with, and I would always turn to music and writing
Hmm.
when I would feel this way. So what you read was kind of like the beginning of a song, some kind of song lyrics. It was just getting my thoughts down on paper.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would not say it was a suicide note, but it was certainly a cry for help. And
Yeah,
about a week or two after you read it, my mom found it,
I
and
remember that.
she just fell apart, and she was like, what am I doing wrong as a mother? And it, you know, then I felt guilty because no, you're not doing anything wrong as a mother. But the good thing is that when my mom felt it or found it, since she had been through depression and she was currently medicated for it, she goes, we need to take you to a doctor. We need to take you to a therapist. We need to figure out exactly what's going on with you. And from that day on, I have, you know, I'm proud to say it. There's no shame here. I've been on different varies of medications to keep my anxiety and depression at bay. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that there's a terrible stigma that goes along with going to therapy and being on medication for it. And I am proud as hell to say, yeah, I see a therapist once a week. You know, I always have. And you never know what's going to happen when you turn the corner in your life. You never know if you're going to be on the uphill swing or the downswing. But talking to somebody who is not biased and doesn't know, you know, who you are or what you came from is just such an important thing. Taking medication that just gives you that little edge to be able to get through. There's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, you want to know where I have my like most emotional sessions is when I'm blasting music in the car, driving down highways. For some reason, if I'm in the car and I'm alone and there's music playing and I'm on just a stretch of highway, that like, that's where I just cry and scream out all of my emotions.
Yeah, of course. It's so funny that you say that, because not only when I was speaking with, in an earlier episode, my friend Mike, I was also speaking with my friend Ian. I tell people that the same thing that you just said. The best therapy and stress relief for me has been getting in the car, cranking the radio, driving down to the beach, and just Ocean Parkway up and down, just primal scream therapy. And people sometimes are like, well, how could just screaming really help? And it's like, put on your favorite band and just go, and just the emotion that will come out of you, you'll feel such a release. So I'm pumped and I'm blown away that, you know, you're another person who still to this day uses that method. That's awesome. That is awesome.
What is your music of choice? It's got to be some kind of headbanger stuff that you're
you know what? It's very funny that you say that, because it could be anywhere from, I could be in a very angry, all right, I'm going to crank All That Remains, or I'm going to crank Slipknot, or I'm going to crank Trivium or something like that. Or I could be in a, you know what, like I want to get some type of emotion out. So I'll listen to like the, you know, the slow Dave Matthews Band songs, like some of the stuff I have on a playlist. People listen to it and they're like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I like this. Like, I got really, really heavy back in high school or in college into Dashboard Confessional. I have no shame in saying that. Just listening to the tunes and like, you know, listening to his whiny, cryy kind of girly voice, but just like, all right, I know what he's feeling. I could feel that too. And so it goes, you know, it goes both ways. Sometimes you just want to scream and punch the windshield, and other times you just want to, you know, hug the steering wheel and just drive down the road, whatever makes you feel good.
No kidding. I remember distinctly, and I know we'll get into this, but you know, when I was first diagnosed with breast cancer at 34 years old in 2019, I was strong. I didn't cry. I didn't get emotional. And I decided to get a tattoo, which is on my arm right here. Is it backwards or is it right way?
It'll be right way when it shows on the show.
Perfect. Because I was like, I don't know if anybody can read that. But I went to get this tattoo and I had to drive down the Meadowbrook Parkway, and I was just driving and the song Skyscraper by Demi Lovato came on. And I just remember, like, exactly as you said, like driving 10 and 2 and hearing the song and then just being like, oh, like one eye open, like still watching the road. But yeah, like I had never heard that song before, and like that song would never have affected me previously, but it was like exactly what I was feeling inside was coming out of her mouth. And I was just like, holy crap, there's somebody else that gets it. And that's what music does for me, is that it's universal. You know, it can mean one thing for one person, one thing for another person, one thing. I have no idea what her meaning behind that song was. I am sure it wasn't like, oh, hey, I was just diagnosed with cancer, because she's not. But to me, it was like the perfect set of lyrics. And the best part about that is I'm listening to the song, I'm crying my eyes out, and I get to my exit and I get off the Meadowbrook, and there is this woman in barely any clothes standing right at the exit, just dancing her face off. Like, I mean, she was like, it was like a ska dance, and like head going, and like I just went from like that ugly cry to like that really ugly laugh, but like it was like I had that moment, and then this woman is just like, wah! Like she didn't care about anything in life, and I was like, you know what? I need to be that woman. I need to be her, the woman who doesn't care, the woman who is going to go out there and be badass and fight. And so it was, you know, like one of those too coincidental, like I was in this mode and she pulled me right out of it.
Well, you know what? For a long period of time that I have known you, you've been you've been that person. So I know you still are, and that don't ever lose that. I mean, that's an awesome trait of yours.
And now that I have boobs, I mean, I'll show them to anyone.
All right, so. This is a family show. It's not really a family show, but I don't want to get booted off of YouTube because you're a free spirit. I don't want any of that. Yeah, that's for a different. Yeah, we'll start a Music Save My Life OnlyFans, and you could definitely be a part of that. We'll make some money off.
I don't know who's going to subscribe to my. You know.
We'll listen. There's people out there. They will. We'll get them to do it. We'll get them to do it.
That's true.
All right, so I am going to get into it. We asked you to be a member of the band, and
yes.
A big part of it, like I said earlier, not only because, you know, you were a piano player and we were into the same, you know, kinds of music and stuff like that and everything. I felt, and at the time in talking with Mike and Erin at the time, who was playing guitar, shout out to Erin Ludwig. I haven't spoken to Erin in a long time. Hey. Erin, wherever you are, look me up. I'd love to friggin' rock out with you and Tommy again. I had spoken to them and I said, listen, I not only think that this will be good for us, I think this will be good for her too. Especially after reading what I read. I said, you know, this girl's got a lot of emotion. She's got a lot of, you know, angst to get out. And, you know, that's what we were looking for. I said, I don't care if she comes down and she just keeps punching the same chord on the piano and slamming her head. If she's into it, we'll be into it. And they said, yeah, dude, you know, whatever. If she's going to fit with, you know, the songs that we're covering, you know, awesome. Because at the time we were, you know, high school. We were covering Blink-182 and Nirvana, but also, you know, Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit, all bands. Limp Bizkit, I don't know why we ever decided to do that. But one talent show, we did play Du Hast from the band Rammstein. Nobody was expecting it, especially, you know, we get up there on stage and they see Adina in this. I remember it. Adina in this tight black mini skirt and these big freaking, I'll say the big Hot Topic black boots and stuff like that. And they go, you know, what are these guys gonna play? And we went into Du Hast and people were like, what is going on? And Adina practiced and practiced and practiced. Not only the all the chords in the choruses and everything, and it just added so much to it. I absolutely loved having you in the band with us. I hope that, you know, at the time you felt the same, and now, you know, looking back on it, because, you know, it's something you could say, it's something you could, you know, tell the kids, like, yeah, I was in a band, like, you know.
Exactly. And I drop that line all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah, not just my kids, for like to random strangers, doctors, friends. I'm just like, well, I was in a band. Severe tire damage. No. What's that from?
Mrs. Doubtfire. Come on now.
Just making sure.
We're gonna do trivia now too. All right.
Yeah, you said anything. Well,
I know. I know. Almost anything. Anything. So now, like, do you still find yourself listening to stuff like that, or has your music choices completely done a 180? And are you listening to like, Barry Manilow and stuff now?
No. So my mom is a Barry Manilow freak.
Okay. All right.
She always has been, always will be. No, I haven't gone that far. I mean, I think instead of flipping, I've added.
Okay.
Right. So like I picked up some of my husband's music. So he listens to like crazy rap, like, I mean, Cardi B and, oh my God, Pop Smoke. And yeah. So every time I get into my car, the radio changed to 105.1 or 97.1. So I have a little bit of that, but it's not my favorite. I picked up, he likes Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay.
So I picked a little bit of that up. That's like, I feel like that's a cop thing. Like so many cops are into Five Finger Death Punch because they're cop reporters and they play like all these songs that are kind of like about bravery and stuff like that. So I picked that up from him. I'm really into the spa music these days, the meditation music. Sometimes
like Enya and shit like that.
Yeah, like anything.
There's
that's
nothing
just
wrong with that.
Yeah, no, because you know what, the kids drive me crazy. So sometimes I just need a little chill time. And I mean, listen, I sometimes will say to Alexa, oh God, she probably heard me. Put on, Bush radio, Godsmack radio. So all those kind of like old songs still come back. And even though I wouldn't jump to songs like that as a first, my first choice, I still remember every word, the other day I went down a crazy rabbit hole and I was pulling out like the Slipknot songs, not Blink-182, Limp Bizkit. So break stuff. Remember that was my jam. Break stuff. Nook. I still remember every word. And it's funny how you can not hear a song for so long and then still remember every single word like you sang it just yesterday.
That being said, when all of this, COVID mania ends and we could start having parties again and stuff like that, I challenge any of you out there that are at a party to turn on Spit It Out from Slipknot and watch Adina recite every single word to this song. Yes. I cannot do it. She can do it, and she's got the deep voice too when she does it, and it's hysterical. But she can go from that. She can go from singing and screaming Slipknot to the ooh child, doing that. So because we used to do that. Yep. Oh my God, we used to sing that song all the time.
All the time.
Driving in. Let's see, your mom had the teal blue minivan. I remember that. Ford car. Yeah. And you had I think it was the green Ford, like Contour or something, the four-door. Oh no, you had the blue Geo. Yes, the blue Geo.
And then I had the green Mustang for a little bit.
Adina had a Mustang. I remember that.
I had a busted up Corsica. That was fun.
You know what? I think everybody had a Corsica too, because well, either a Corsica or a Beretta. Because I know Megan had Berta. She had the Beretta.
You sure did.
Paul had the white Beretta. Like they were, they were a popular car.
Yeah. And if people are listening to this, like millennials or Gen Z, like they're going to be like, I'm sorry, Corsica, Beretta. Like I've never heard of that.
Do your homework. Do your homework.
Yeah. And they'll tell me to stop parting my hair to the side and I'll just
go and look what a rotary phone is. Here, I'll show you something you've never seen before.
Oh, what do you got?
Because I got back into it. Look, see, this is vinyl. These are records. This is actually Tapestry from Carole King. I was listening to this earlier today. I rediscovered all of that stuff as I try and put it back on the turntable. There we go.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends that, got hard into vinyl and stuff like that. Again, they said, with all the music that's coming out now, let's try and bring back some of like the old feeling. And they're releasing so much new stuff on vinyl now. It's unbelievable. Like I look forward to being able to go and buying an album again on vinyl. I don't have to download it. Like I can go and it's awesome how it comes full circle again.
It's true. I saw vinyl today. I was at Target and I walked right in the doors. I was like, oh, look, vinyl. I was like, I didn't know they sold that at Target. AC/DC, like all these crazy, old school bands and stuff.
It's everywhere. I saw it the other day in Barnes and Noble. They have a whole vinyl and CD section. And I mean, it's not, it's not big, but somebody also told me that cassettes are coming back too. So that will be
crank, 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 crank,
Yeah,
crank.
that'll be very interesting to see. Like I don't know, our generation, we're taking the steps back because we love that stuff. And all
Yeah.
the other ones, they live off of this and nothing
Yep.
else. And
Yep.
I can't,
It's
can't deal with
interesting
it.
how the generations go. I was just having a conversation the other night, and Matt and I were saying, oh, when we first started dating in 2003, which means I've been dating my husband as, equally as long as I was alive before he came into my life. Disgusting. But we were talking about like, oh, remember when we would illegally download on Napster and LimeWire, and we thought the cops were going to come to our house?
Yes.
Because we downloaded like Nookie, like, weird time. And now it's like, I don't even have an iTunes account. Like I just don't.
I just have Spotify. That's it. Just click and
That's
everything is right there. And it's
Yep.
been the greatest thing since Napster. So, rest in peace, Napster. Thank you for all you did for us when we were
Exactly.
young.
Miss you.
Yeah, no, I miss, I miss those days. I miss the days of us all hanging out until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, then coming home and signing on to AOL Instant Messenger and talking to each other until 6 in the morning. Like
Exactly.
we were just with each other. Why are we still doing? But that's
especially at the second Saturday parties.
Yes, which I think that's when I kind of fell off. I don't remember many.
Oh no, AJ. If you're gonna bring things up about my past, I'm gonna bring fun things up about your past.
No, please do, because Megan keeps talking to me about it. I do not remember these. I remember falling down a laundry chute of one of your parties. Yes, okay. Yes. All right. I do. Tell that story, because I really don't remember.
I will. There are a few stories. So every second Saturday of the month when we were in high school and college, my parents would go out to dinner with their friends for about 4 to 5 hours. And when this first started, it really would just be a tight knit group of us who would get together. It would be like you, Mike, Megan, Jackie, Steph, the jams, and then the jams. We had all these names for our group and all of that. And then word got around the high school that I was having these parties the second Saturday of every month for 4 hours. And more and more people started showing up. So there was one party where my parents left at like 6, 7 o'clock. And I said what I always said: where are you going? Where is that? How far away is that? Okay. And you're having like a prefixed menu. So you're having like 4 courses. Okay. And then we would sit there and we go, okay, so each course is about half hour.
Adina would have the whiteboard out and just like, okay, starting here, we need to get to here and fill everything out.
Exactly. And I would always say, just call me before you're coming home so we could just make sure we clean up, because I don't want you to come home, Mom, to a total mess of like us girls hanging and, AJ and whatever. And
it was always the girls and me. And that's
and Mike
questions too. And Mike too. Yes, Mike too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all right, guys and girls. But it was always the guys that my mom wasn't concerned about, because she knew like how close we all were as friends, that she was like, oh yeah, like AJ and Mike are going to be in your bedroom. Like, fine. Mm-hmm. She's like, it's okay. She's like, they're like your best friends. It's fine. But they would go, and then I would say the text messages. First, it was the beeps that would go out.
Yeah.
Then it would be tell like chirp, chirp, like, okay, like it's clear, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would send the text messages, but with like having to hit like the 7 button like 4 times to get to the S or whatever it was.
On the Nokia phone.
Exactly. And everybody would just start showing up. And one time AJ had a little bit too much to drink, and admittedly we were probably like 16 years old. And all of a sudden I hear, boom, ah! And I'm like, the hell is that? So I'm like, AJ, like, you all right in there? You're like, I fell down the laundry chute. My parents had like a little laundry chute in the floor next to the toilet that you could throw your clothes down to. It would go right into the laundry basket down 2 floors below. And AJ, I don't know if you saw it, if you were too drunk to see it, if whatever, but
listen, in my defense, who puts a damn laundry chute? Adina's picture disappeared. There she is.
Oh,
okay, she's back. In my defense, who puts a laundry chute next to a toilet bowl? Come on.
I mean, that's how the house was built. I don't know.
That's just weird. So I'm defending myself on that one. Yeah, I probably did drink a lot.
But you're the only person who ever fell down the laundry chute.
So that's No, you know what? I'm proud of that. Like I should like have a shirt made that says that. Like who else fell down the laundry chute? Question. And that's it. That's the next shirt I'm having made.
There you go.
Next, I am going to wear it for the next podcast too. I'm challenging myself.
Please do. And we are reincarnating the second Saturday parties.
This I heard as well. As well.
So you can wear it to the second Saturdays, and we will video everybody's response to that, because I don't think there's a person who's going to be at the new second Saturday parties who doesn't remember AJ falling down the laundry chute.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I did a lot of crazy stuff. Listen, you were the one who used to, let's see, when we used to, like, when we were kids, we used to roam free. We would drive the cars to either the park or the car show and just be retarded. You were the one that used to tie your shirt up into your bra and walk around like, you know, and pull the shorts all the way up and just be a goofball. I have a picture of that somewhere too. And
I believe it. That's when I fit into all my clothes real nice. So it was a different time. It was a different time.
Man, we need to, like, I've been saying it for years. And now that, like, I have the ability to do it, I have the technology to do it, I just need to. I've wanted to write like a pilot episode, almost like how, you know, they used to have the Hills and all that stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I wanted to write it about our group of friends and the stupid shit that we used to do. And like different episodes would be, okay, this episode is revolving around Adina and her nonsense. And then this episode is revolving around, you know, AJ and Mike and the stupidity that they did. Like, I think people our age would connect to it. I just got to do it. I got to stop talking about it.
The Hempstead Turnpike and call it, you know, we'd cruise the pike.
Yep.
And we would give the kaigafus, if you remember, to all of our exes. So we would all get in the car, and kaigafu stood for "Can I get a FU?" to our exes, and we would just drive past their houses and honk the horns and stick our finger between our ring finger and our pointer finger out that window.
You can do that. It's YouTube. You can.
All right, I didn't know.
Right. Yeah, you can do it. It's all right. You could do that.
Family show. And I'm just gonna change my position. I thought this was a family show. Change where I'm sitting right now, because, you know, mom life. One of my kids used my iPad and drained the battery out of it. So, like, please excuse this technical difficulty right now as I plug in and show you my 1,000 chins from this very attractive Ursula angle right here. That's what I call it when I turn my phone on and I don't realize it's on, and I'm like this. And I'm like, oh my God, holy crap. Who is that person?
Jesus.
True story.
True story. Man. All right. So we're gonna, besides, you know, getting back into the you know, the groove of the second Saturday stuff, we are going to have to, you know, I'm gonna have to start writing this TV show, and like I want to do it. I want to do it with all of us, like, you know, almost how they do regular sitcoms, like of all of us just sitting around a table and writing down ideas and then turning episodes and stuff. Like, you don't. And now she's got to get her life.
Oh my gosh! I'm trying to like make it so that I can be seen and I don't look like a shadow hunter, and like, oh gosh, mom life.
Now, if there was editing, this is where I would say we're gonna have a little break, and then we'll come back to the show.
A break for our sponsor.
Yeah, a break for our sponsors. Let me see. Let me check the timer. Let me see what we're up to now. And it hasn't hit an hour yet. So no, I won't edit this.
I was like, AJ, please, like, we're gonna have a problem at some point. My kids are gonna run in naked, or like, this is gonna happen.
And so far the kids haven't been the problem. This has been all Adina.
And I'm still having a problem because I don't know how to do this. Oh my God. Maybe I need to invest in an iPod kickstand. Okay. This is probably the best it's gonna get.
And so I just burped on the microphone too. So whatever. Okay. So don't knock it down. Like, don't move. Talk, but don't move. Don't move. So
okay, I think we're good now.
Oh man. All right. So we've gotten through, you know, that stuff and everything like that. What was like the whole your whole feeling, like dealing with your anxiety and, you know, depression and stuff like that when you were going through college? Was it easier for you to maintain, or was it just like more, you know, just blah, just right there because of everything that you had going on. God, you're making me seasick.
I'm sorry. I'm a perfectionist.
I can't even focus when asking the question because
I got it.
I'm like, okay, all right, don't move
Until it's full, which it probably will.
Okay. So
so college, yes. So college got a little bit easier because Jackie, Steph, and Megan, we also like Jackie, Adina, Megan, Steph, jams, right? That's what we go by. To this day, the four of us have been so tight. At one point, it was like Bam jams, and it was like Brian, AJ, Mike, and then jams, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then we were like da Bam jams because Dana joined. So
there was oh my God, yeah, there was like 20 of us, and then we just said this is just jams. Just leave it as jams.
We're like,
it's easier.
Jams in the crew.
We're not accepting any more applications. It's just jams. Yeah. That's it.
No more letters will fit into this because then So anyway, Jackie, Steph, Megan, Adina, we all went to CW Post. So I had my core group of friends with me, but I was also able to reinvent myself. Mm-hmm. So I had this like newfound confidence, not that anything, not that I was like super weird or super trampy or anything in high school that I had to reinvent, but for me, it just felt like I could start over. Mm-hmm. And anything that I was shy or jealous or any of the negative feelings or like the, God forbid, the suicidal or the depressive, or I was wiping myself clean of all of that. And it was great. I mean, the way Jackie explains it is CW Post, the college where you could sit on a bench by yourself and it's okay. Like, like high school, you sit on a bench alone and people are like, ew, like, why is she alone?
You're the weird girl that sits alone.
Right. Next to you. But then at CW Post, I'd be like, Jack, I'll wait for you at the bench. And we'd be like, wow, like you can sit on a bench alone at college and like not be labeled the weird girl. So it just got so much easier. Now, granted, I still did weird things. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know how much I love my sleep. Yes. I would fall asleep literally everywhere. In Hillwood Commons, I would just conk out on a chair, sitting in the Starbucks, in my car. So I think I still like labeled myself the weird girl by falling asleep everywhere. But, in college, it's okay. Or at least that's what Jackie and I.
On Saturday, I'm gonna cut you off really quick. Yeah. On Saturdays when we would hang out, nobody could get in touch with Adina until about 3 p.m. because she usually slept until 2, and then she would get up and so that's why at night she was alive and we all just wanted to go to bed. But.
Yep, and honestly, still to this day, like my older son, gets on the bus at 9:00, and 99.9% of the time, my husband, who works nights in the police department, is putting him on the bus because I'm like, oh, like I can't do it. But at like 1, 2 a.m., I'm like, oh, I got to send this proposal out to this bride, and I have to do this, and I got to write this speech, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I'm still such a night owl. Like the nights speak to me. I mean, I even had, these epiphanies in the middle of the night where I'll like just be closing my eyes. And then like song lyrics will come to my head or like a line for a poem or something, or just something that I have to write down comes down. And I jump back up and I have to like find my phone and go to my notes and write down everything that I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. In the mornings, forget it. It is like a corpse on a corpse. Like I just cannot, like my house could be on fire and I'd be like, but is it in the room? Like, but is it on my bed?
Are you going to take care of this? Because I don't want to get up.
Right. Like, do I have 5 more minutes before I get out? Like, oh, yeah. So mornings, not my friend.
I'm just happy to see that some things don't ever change. I love that. That's awesome.
No. I mean, I wish it was a more positive thing, but like, nope. Yeah. Nope. Mornings, no thanks.
Okay. So let's go back to it. You were sitting alone on a bench like Forrest Gump, and then Jackie would come and meet you.
Yeah. And then Jackie would come and meet me. Oh, the Rangers scored. Boom.
All right, good.
Sorry, I'm back into it. And yes, we would sit on a bench. Sometimes we'd sit on the bench together and we would just people watch, hoping to find our husbands, right? Because we just thought like, all right, like we'll find our husbands here at college, like totally fine. I actually did find my husband at college shortly thereafter. He walked right into my philosophy class the first day, second semester. And he was wearing a velour DKNY jumpsuit, which was clearly very popular in 2003.
With the rest
He had,
of, you know, forget it. I'm
yeah.
not even gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead. Just keep
All
going.
the guinea outfits. Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. All right. You said it. You said it.
I'll
All
say
right.
it. It's fine. But yep, he walked in with his DKNY jumpsuit and his flipped up hair and his frosted tips. And I was like, ooh, who is that? And he said, ooh, who is that? To the girl sitting next to me. So we had to figure that one out. But I invited him to a second Saturday party, and you know, that's when we hit it off. When I, you know, those parties, I'm telling you, man, they were life-changing.
Because you were able to be yourself. Like I do. The one thing I do remember is I remember hanging out with people at some of those parties where in, you know, high school, like in regular school, in regular life,
Yeah.
like they wouldn't talk to you. Like it was like, you know, every teenage movie ever, you'd walk by them in the hallway and you'd say, hey, and they'd look at you like, you know, who the hell are you waving to type of thing. But at those parties, everybody was on the same level, which was awesome.
Exactly. There were no cliques. I mean, when they, like you said, when we were in high school, and the invited guests, or not invited guests, but people who'd show up were in high school, it was very cliquey. Who was in my backyard? Who was in my front yard? Who was downstairs? Who was upstairs? And then, yeah, when we went to college, it was like college friends would show up and high school friends would show up. And it, like you said, it just kind of meshed. Like nobody judged anybody. I don't know what this crazy invisible wall is between high school and college, at least for us, but it was like you cross that bridge or you jump that wall, and it was like, oh, like you're not more popular than me. You're not less popular than me. Like we all just kind of like, we're from the same group. And it was so much cooler and so much calmer and so much more fun. And
Yeah.
we still, you know, cruised the pike and did our kegafus. Like that didn't go anywhere. But some of the anxiety and the concern kind of came from that. And you know what? A lot of that also came from inside with all of us, because we all kind of had that mentality, like, okay, like I'm not who I was in high school. There's no labels here. Like I can make up who I am and other people will believe it. You know?
So how did you, I want to know this story because I really don't know this story all that much. How did you get Matt on the Adina bandwagon? How did that happen?
I love it. I love that.
If it's, you know, if it's PG 13, it's fine.
It's
okay,
PG.
all right, good.
It's
Okay.
PG. And the funny thing is, I literally was telling somebody this story yesterday. So I love telling the story. And now that I can tell it 2 days in a row, it's amazing. So yes, Matt had a crush on somebody we actually went to high school with, not Jackie, who was in the same class.
Okay.
And he would walk her to class. And, you know, this is, I guess, what you did back then. You know, he would carry her bag and walk her to class. And they hung out a couple times outside of school. And I was getting out of like a fake breakup from high school. You know, like me and this guy, we weren't dating, but, you know, on PG or PG-13. You know, things were happening, and you know
who that was, but we won't get into
it. You definitely do.
Okay,
and
all right, go.
He will know it is him.
But okay, good.
I went to school like reinventing myself, but for a short time after he and I stopped talking, I reinvented myself as like a dumpster because I just didn't care what I was wearing. Like I was like the human dumpster. Like I just like, wore pajamas, threw my crazy hair up in a bun. Like I was lucky I brushed my teeth when I went to college because I just did not give a crap, right? And then Matt walked in and I was like, all right, like I guess I need to try now. So I put on some makeup and like actual like going out of your house people clothes. And he still
put on
didn't know.
Pants.
I did. I mean, this is a Zoom right now, so you guys don't even know if I have pants on right now. So it's, I mean, I might.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me either way.
So yeah, I have pants on, but so Matt went to Bogart's with this other girl, and I was there too, and I was kind of, you know, scoping it out and being a little bit of a spy, and I saw that like it wasn't really going so well. So then I saw him and I was like, oh hey, I'm having this party on Saturday if you want to come by. And he's like, yeah, right. You know, is she gonna be there? And I was like, yeah, she's gonna be there. Like, you know, that stick the nail in the coffin, why don't you? But it's fine. And I distinctly remember sitting on the couch, looking out my front door and seeing him walk up with one of his friends. And I was like, oh, like he came to the party. So, oh God.
See, she got excited.
I got so excited. So, no. Oh my God, I am the worst.
Just
I'm
keep
the
talking.
worst.
If it keeps falling, just keep talking. Yours will be
Uh,
all audio. It's okay.
all right. So I was in sweatpants and he walked in. I was like, oh, hey. And then I had like 2 underage shots of vodka and went up and changed my clothes into this, I mean, this dress. Like I don't know where I thought I was going. Like like the club in my living room. I don't know. But I like traipsed my way down the stairs and our wonderful, beautiful friend Dana was sitting on his lap. And I was like, dude,
Dana, you whore.
yeah. I'm like, no, he's off limits. Like, did you forget he's the one that I'm trying to nail down? Nail down. Yes.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry, Mom. I said nail down. So I went over and I sat on his other leg. And there's a picture that I have to try and find of Dana sitting on one leg and me sitting on the other leg. And then the party started to dwindle down. My parents came home and everybody's like, let's go to the diner. Let's go to the diner. Because that's what people did back then. Yep. We went to the diner after we sobered up and we would get bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. We would get all these crazy things. And I convinced Matt to go. And everybody else got in their cars. And I was like, oh, I'll show you where the diner is. He's like, I know where the diner is. I'm like, I'll show you where the diner is. And we drove there. And by the time we got to the diner, he was like, oh, do you want to give me your number? That was it. I had him hook, line, and sinker. So we went on a couple of dates, a couple of double dates with Jackie and a guy from our philosophy class who we called 50 Cent. But he was the white 50 Cent. He looked like him somehow. And we had our first date at the bowling alley, which was nice, which was classic. It was classic to that day. And we watched Swim Fan.
Oh, God.
So that's dating us very, very much.
Very much so.
Yeah. And I mean, from that moment on, I mean, that's 18 years ago. And we've been together ever since, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. We've seen each other through a lot of things, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Our wedding was, one of the best times. And we struggled to have Luca, our older son. We tried for 2 years and we didn't have any luck. And we went through 7 months of infertility treatments. And then I got pregnant with triplets, lost 2, and Luca hung on. And that's how we have our miracle boy. And you know what? It's funny because I remember, so the song 1,000 Years by Christina Perry came out.
Just don't.
Okay, well,
keep going, but okay. That's one of my late night songs, but go ahead.
Well, it is a good one, and it's one that pulls a tear out of my eye too, because when I was going through infertility and I couldn't get pregnant, and every month the doctor was calling me saying, no, I'm so sorry, no, I'm so sorry. That was one of those songs that I would just play on repeat, and sometimes I would cry and sometimes I would feel hopeful. Usually I had my entire face into a party pack from Taco Bell, like all the 12 tacos that were mine, and like I got 6 Dorito nachos and all the things. But so I drowned myself in nacho cheese and Christina Perry 1,000 Years. And then Luca, we had Luca in November of 2013. He was 4 weeks early, so he was very sick. We were worried that he might not hang on. He was on a nebulizer. And he knows now when he hears 1,000 Years, he goes, Mommy, this is my song. This is my song. I go, that's yeah, awesome. Buddy, I dance with you at your wedding to this song, without a doubt. And 2 years later, we got pregnant with Lorenzo out of nowhere. So it was, we've seen each other through the sadness of losing 2 babies and not being able to get pregnant, to the joy of having Luca, to the fear of losing Luca, to getting pregnant out of nowhere with Lorenzo. And all the way up until now, where, I've been through so much since June of 2019, and this man has not left my side. So, it's crazy to think that velour jumpsuit and those frosted tips that walked into the philosophy class in 2003 ended up being like the greatest thing that ever happened in my life.
Yeah, man. And he's a boss. Of course, he's not going to go nowhere. Like Matt is, Matt, I haven't known Matt as long, I met Matt, back in the day and stuff like that. Right. But again, I don't want to say shortly thereafter, but there was a period there where, I kind of went off and I did my own thing and I wasn't really in the group anymore. It wasn't only until recently that, I've been, I don't want to say I've been around more, but I've been around more, you know,
Yeah.
I've been able to see you guys more, and, you know, all the guys that are in, you know, the family now, Megan's husband is awesome. Stephanie's husband is awesome. Jackie's, like, everybody is just really, really cool. And
Yeah.
like, you know, any time that I have spent with them, it's just like, I just feel like, you know, I feel like one of them. Like they
Yeah.
pick on me, like they pick on each other. So I feel, you know, I feel included. It's awesome. And, you know,
Yeah.
I've
It's like no time has gone by.
exactly. And, you know,
Yeah.
like you said, Matt, you know, he's gone through hell and back with you. And it shows a lot of his character. It shows a lot of your character too, because you guys are strong enough to just, you know, keep that grip on each other. And
Yep.
that's awesome. And that's where this is what's called a segue, boys and girls.
Yes.
That's where I'm gonna segue into. Okay, you have the boys, things,
Yep.
you have the house, things are
Yep.
going
I
good. You
start my
got the
business.
the business is up and running. You're crushing it. I had fun with you at a wedding, even though you were working at the wedding. Like
Yeah.
it was amazing. And then 2019, everything comes to a screeching halt.